जो हमारा मेनली राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस के ऊपर है कि बेसिकली जो है मेन पॉइंट यही होता है कि हमें क्या लिखना है पेपर में, कैसे लिखना है। हमें तो पता होता है कि इतने मार्क्स के लिए हमें लिखना है, लेकिन कितना लिखना है और कैसे लिखना है वो हम आज की क्लास में देखेंगे। लास्ट जो हमारा सेशन हुआ था उसके अंदर हमने देखा था कि हमें क्या क्या लिखना होता है। बेसिकली हमारे पॉइंट्स क्या क्या होते हैं, हेडिंग यूज करनी होती है, आपकी राइटिंग नीट एंड क्लीन होनी चाहिए, आपको प्रॉपर हेडर्स यूज करने होते हैं। देन जो आपके मार्क्स रहते हैं वो स्टेप बाय स्टेप होते हैं, स्टेप बाय स्टेप मार्किंग होती है पेपर में, उसके हिसाब से आपको मार्क्स मिलते हैं। एंड आपको अंडरलाइन करना होता है, सिंगल इन्वर्टेड डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमर्स में डालने होते हैं। ठीक है, इस तरीके से हमने लास्ट टाइम पॉइंट्स देखे थे, लेकिन हमने लास्ट टाइम ये नहीं किया था कि हमें आंसर किस तरीके से लिखने हैं, हाउ टू राइट आंसर्स। आज के सेशन में हम लिखेंगे, मेनली जानेंगे हाउ टू राइट आंसर्स, कि किसी भी क्वेश्चन का आंसर लिखना कैसा है, हाउ टू राइट द आंसर। बेसिकली हमें जो आंसर्स लिखने होते हैं वो मेनली जहाँ पे डिफिकल्टी आती है, वी आर फेसिंग डिफिकल्टी इज इन ऑडिट एंड लो। ऑडिट और लो में सबसे ज्यादा डिफिकल्टी होती है, या फिर एक एसएम हो सकता है हमारे पास। जो हमारी थ्योरी सब्जेक्ट्स है उसमें सबसे ज्यादा डिफिकल्टीज फेस करते हैं हम लोग। तो बेसिकली ट्राई करेंगे एक एक दो दो क्वेश्चन हम उसके लिखने का ट्राई करें। एक हमारे पास हमारे यहाँ की हमारी क्लासेस की इवेल्युएटर है रौनक, वो आपको बताएंगे कि किस तरीके से करना है। लाइक वो एक दो आंसर्स लिख के बताएंगे आपको। ठीक है रौनक, आर यू देयर?
Hello, ma'am.
हेलो।
Yeah, I'm done, ma'am.
लिख के बताएंगे, प्लस में साथ बताते जाएंगे साइड बाय साइड कि किस तरीके से आपको लिखना है, और राइटिंग टिप्स भी देते जाएंगे। ठीक है।
So, hello, students. How are you guys? I guess some people over here might be knowing me. So, yeah, it's great to see you all here by 9 o'clock. While many people are like seeing TV, you guys are seeing this session. So, it's really great to see you guys here. So, yeah, I would like to understand, like, from every student, you can just comment me down that which subject do you face writing issue the most? Like, this, many of people here are have already written their exams previously. So which subject do you face the writing issue the most? Like you feel ki you have written something but you have not got the marks. If I can see it's majorly the theory subjects. Yeah. Maybe it's the law and taxation part. Perfect students. Law, taxation, and audit. Okay, perfect students. Perfect. So students, let's just start with a glimpse. Like initially, I will go with each subject. Like first, I'll start with accounts, where I'll show you a simple like previous attempt. A student have attempted a paper in which she have written the answers. Her answers were, I cannot say the answers were wrong. Her answers were correct. Yes, she have left some part, but she have got awarded very less marks. Even though she deserved more marks on her answers, but she have got less marks because of the way she have presented the answers. So I'll just show you her answer once, and I'll show you how ICAI wants it to be done. So students, as you guys will be knowing, that in accounts, cash flow, there is something which is a major part. So like her attempt में तो आता ही आता है cash flow. So students, like I would like to know in you guys, like how do you think cash flow is presented? Like we have three elements: operating, investing, and finance. So as per you, what is the correct presentation of cash flow? Like any one of you can unmute yourself and tell me. Students, anyone willing to tell me the cash flow part? Like how do you guys present cash flow in the answer sheet? No, I'll just show the student which she have written. So I'll just so that you guys can get some idea of it. Yeah.
We first write that cash flow statement for the particular year. Then we put ABC parts, that cash flow from operating, investing, financing. Then we add that net increase or decrease in cash flow plus the opening balance, then equivalent to the closing balance. We name them as A, B, C, D, E particularly. And the workings, like if we are given net profit before tax, then that's okay. If it's not given, we show it in the working note separately then.
Yeah, great, Sneha. So that's how we eventually present it, right? So I'll just show you one student answer sheet so that I wish you guys don't mistake the same mistake. You guys don't have the same mistake again in your answer sheets. Yeah. I hope you guys can see my screen. So yes, this student, okay, it's her May 26 answer sheet, which she have written recently. So if you guys just see, right, initially we have written the cash flow. She had the cash flow statement, indirect method. So the first mistake which she made in the presentation was question have clearly mentioned the cash flow year for Mahashri Limited. Question have mentioned that for 24-25 Mahashri Limited we have to make the cash flow. So along with Mahashri Limited, right, you have to even write the year of the cash flow because sometimes ICAI asks cash flow interim, sometimes it's full year. So you guys, it's very important to mention the duration of the cash flow. Getting it right? So that's the first thing which we have to make sure. Then the cash flow is fine. But if you guys just see over here, right? Student have we have three cash flows: operating, financial, and investment. So what student have done is she have taken a net profit before tax, and then she have not named that we are doing the operating cash flow, which is very important as Neha said right now that we have to mention A, B, and C. So the operating should be mentioned, right? So that the evaluator gives operating cash flow. So here again, students have made mistakes. We think that we have done it correct. But if the operating cash flow is not mentioned, right, ICAI will not know it, which may lead to deduction of marks. And then another thing is she have mixed up everything. If you guys just see, right, as per the ICAI, just a moment. Yeah. As per ICAI, it's cash flow from operating activities. In that, the ICAI have made 2 to 3 subparts in it. Like first, it's adjustment of non-cash and non-operating expenses, which we should add and minus. Then we get working capital changes. From that, we have to make adjustments of working capital, which is the cash generated from operations, which gets us the operational cash flow. As you guys can see over here, first we have to make the non-cash and non-operating items adjustment. Once you make the adjustments, you have to give a sum total, which is operating profit before working capital changes. Once you get that amount, in that you have to less or minus the inventories and all the working capital changes. This is how we have to present our cash flow and then the income tax paid at the end. Because many students, what we have evaluating, right, what they are doing is they are directly doing plus minus and getting the answer. See, right now might be you would have got marks or might be you would have deducted marks. Your marks might have been deducted. But during exam, right, ICAI will just not say, okay, student got cash for 12 lakhs, so full tick and 6 marks. That is not going to happen. ICAI will see stepwise. So I kindly want you guys to make sure that you guys are very sure about this way of presenting the answer for cash flow. And then we have our investment, and then we have our finance as well. With investment and finance doesn't have any subparts. It's directly here. But yes, students, like over here, no, like student have not, like for example, we have got a net profit before tax, for which in the same manner, investment activity, she have written 20 and 82 with 200, which is partially correct, but she have not sum total the answer. So you make sure that you make 2 columns, 2 rows. One is for the internal adjustments, and then the sum total which you show it should be in the second row, which should be mentioned for everything. Like some students, what they're doing is in second row they are mentioning for operating, but finance they are again mentioning over here itself in the first row, which is wrong. If you're mentioning the operating total amount of cash flow in the second row, even finance amount total should be in the second row. So make sure that your alignment is proper and it's accurate. And then we have to have the net increase and cash equivalence. As Neha said, then we have to do in this way. So this is the right presentation of cash flow for accounts. So I hope you guys are clear about it. Any doubts you guys have for cash flow presentation? Because I have evaluated many students' paper, many students have made the same mistake. So kindly make sure that you don't make the same mistake again.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please, Neha.
Like in the exam, my question was totally correct. Just there was one part that I forgot to deduct the income tax and operating one.
Okay.
Rest all were correct, but my 2 marks were deducted for that.
Yeah. That goes on because, see, in the cash flow, no, if you see the finance and investment part is not a major part, but because of your income tax going wrong, no, your operational profit, operational cash flow, and total cash flow might have got wrong totally. Because of
Yes.
this, 1 mark is having deducted. As I said, it's a stepwise marking. The full answer was correct. In operating part, 1 mark was deducted, and in total part, 1 mark was deducted, which is the cash and cash equivalent. Over time,
Oh,
1 mark was deducted. Yeah. So, any other questions from anyone? No, see, starting wrong doesn't reduce full marks. As you said, it's a stepwise marking, but yes, if the answer gets start wrong, major part of the marks get deducted. Because see, even if your other adjustments are correct, your total of operating, like we see over here, if for example, in this same question itself, over here, if for example, in adjustment of non-cash, I would have written non-depreciation. Instead of 2.52 lakh, I would have written 2.4 lakh. Then my operating profit before working capital would have been wrong. For that, 1 mark might have been deducted. Cash generated from operations will get wrong. Net cash from operating expenses will get wrong. So over and over out, everything will get wrong. But yes, for other things which you got correct, you will get 1, 2 marks. But it will not be like your full marks are deducted. You will just get very partial marks. Okay. So anyone else have any doubt? Okay. So I'll just show another mistake of students which they usually make. So students, I just like to know that, okay, for example, you got a reconstruction question. I'll just take it out if I need the questions. Yeah, okay, I'm just coming into this. Students, so for example, you have got a reconstruction account for which you have to make the journal entries. So as per you, first entry which normally even ICAI and even students make is the equity accounts. I mean the equity capital, differential capital, debenture capital, debentures, I mean, and then the other entries, asset liabilities, everything. But many mistakes where I found is in ICAI, narrations are must. Let it be a simple entry, let it be depreciation have been calculated. Even for that, you have to mention a narration. Without a narration, the evaluator won't know your understanding of the journal entry. Like for example, the same student, if you just check out once, she have written the first question which she entered. She have written journal entry over here being English reduced, shas reduced are reduced to rupees 10. So students, one thing is see, narration should not be reduced to rupees 10. See, equity share capital before it was 15. From that, it got reduced to 10. So there's a calculation between that, right? So just don't mention reduced to rupees 10. You can write it that equity share capital reduced from 15 rupees to 10 rupees. Writing full calculation is good, but yes, we have limit of time. But at least just don't write reduced to 10. Evaluator won't know what is reduced to 10, from what amount it's reduced to 10. If for example it was 15 rupees, reduced from 15 rupees to 10 rupees. Something like that. And over here, many parts, they have written the cash flow, but no narration. No narration in second one, third one. But if you see the other points, she had narration. So kindly make sure that you are writing narration in every part of the journal entries. It's not like if you write in 2, 3 journal entries, in if you don't, that is not something which is like good for the presentation aspect, and the evaluator would obviously take it seriously that 2, 3 entries she have written proper narration, others she have not or he have not. Might be for that. See, marks might not get deducted much, but even 0.5 marks matter in our aggregate and individual subjects. So make sure the narration part is properly maintained. I understand we have time limitations, but at least a narration which is understandable. I don't want you guys to write full calculation narration, but a narration which is understandable and as per ICAI rules. I mean, as what ICAI expects. At least that keep in mind and write those. Yeah. So anyone have any doubt in accounts part for presentation aspect? If not, we'll go for the other subject. Sorry, Donit, I didn't get your question exactly. Can both adjustment together in time? Can you just unmute yourself and tell the exact question you want to know?
Sir, if I try to do reconstruction position together, means one entry and together, for example,
Yeah, yeah.
if I sold a plant and machinery and valuation arises profit, and also it increases the valuation. Can I do it together?
Yeah, you can. See, if the question have like see again in narrations, no, in internal reconstruct question, we have point by point question, like one adjustment, two adjustment, three adjustment. We have 5 6 points in question. If your sale of plant and machinery and your other asset anything is in two different points, then it is preferred to have two different entries. Don't club those entries. Yes, if for example, what they say, right, in a single point, they say asset have got reduced to 8,000, inventory have increased to 10,000. If in a single line they have, yes, go for the clubbing entry. But if there are different points in which they have asked the question, in that don't club it. In that have a different other entries.
Sometimes too much clubbing leads to less marks. Means I have to save time in accounts.
Yeah, I understand, but see, but if the points are asked differently, it is preferred to do it different. See, eventually doing it together is correct, no doubt in it. But sometimes what happens is the evaluator of ICAI, na, they might miss the part, being a stepwise marking. So it's preferred for a safer side. But it's fine. Even doing it both together is fine. No worries. If you feel you
Okay,
have time, you can do it separate entries. Otherwise, clubbing is also fine.
okay.
As
Thank
for
you.
ICAI, it's fine. But I would suggest you to do it differently so that evaluator feels you have written both the points and you get each
No,
marks.
only if I have less time.
Yeah, I understand it. I understand.
Last moment.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. In that case, you can write double entry. If you feel you have time, you write single. Otherwise, you can just combine the entries.
Sir, in balance sheet, statement and P&L account, if I do at last and balance sheet first, is it okay?
So it again depends on student to student. That depends on how conceptual clarity you have. If you feel that you have enough speed to write it at the last, you can. There are no worries in it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to write a narration in buyback as well. Yeah, accounting standards parts will come at the end, where I'll let you know how we can present the accounting standards and how we can go for it. No, yeah, capital reduction and reconstruction doesn't make any difference in question. What are they saying?
But sir, in this exam, I think so. There was one answer sheet in which approx 3.5 marks were deducted because the child used capital reduction instead of reconstruction.
No, see, as per ICI, even ICI in many questions it writes capital reconstruction, capital reduction, I mean. But okay, if ICI, I see, eventually you guys would have got the RTPs, MTPs at this time, right? So just see the RTP, MTP. If what ICI have used, use the same word for this attempt. So I'll just go to law right now. I will show you some part of law where we can make mistake, and I'll just show it to you once. Students, before moving to law, like if anyone in chat or everyone in chat can just tell me that if you hear the word presentation in law, how do you present your answers? Like, what is your way of presenting the answers? If you can just type it out in the chat, it will be great. Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's really great. But see, that's really great. And the best was a Deshna. It's really perfect. Provision, explanation, analysis, facts, conclusion, suggestions. That's completely perfect. And in case if you have case laws, if you have similar case laws which you remember, even those you can write. Yeah, that's great, guys. That's nice. Yeah, that's perfect, guys. Okay, so I'll just present a student answer sheet where she have presented the answer. Might be her answer was wrong, but the way she have presented was good. So I'll just present it to you once. Yeah, guys, for this student, see, and another thing is, like, for example, if we see any section, okay, so anyone who can just volunteer me, like, I'll ask just a simple question of law. Anyone who would like to volunteer yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Sneha. Great. Sneha, for example, if you get a question from law stating that you have to write about sweat equity shares,
Okay.
so how would you start the answer?
I would first read the case study,
Okay.
like what is mentioned in the question. I
Uh,
would take the important points that I'm required to write in the fact of the case.
yeah. Okay.
Then I'll check what are the provisions applicable to that,
Yeah.
like
Great.
which are related to the fact of the case. Provision, as I know, we should write only in legal language, in
Yeah.
that we should not use our own language. Then I'll go to analysis. There I will combine the fact of the case along with the provision. And at the end, I'll answer, in conclusion, I'll answer what is asked in the question. I'll
So
answer on basis of that.
that's perfect. So my question to you is, what is like if I ask you any case points, Swiggy shares, so any case points Swiggy shares, so what will be your first two lines of the answers?
My first two lines will be I'll explain what are sweat equity shares.
Yeah, but how will that start? I mean, if you can just tell me the exact line, how would that start?
Like, according to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Then I'll write the section number if any relevant, and then sweat equity shares are shares awarded to employees at discount.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so the students, many answer sheets and many people, what they make mistake is, see, knowing section numbers is not easy as we have multiple section numbers. It's not easy to know each section. If you guys don't know the section, right, at least write as per the provision of Companies Act, or if it's as per LLP, or it's as per FEMA, or general clause. Just mention the act name. Like, for example, many students who have interacted with and have seen the evaluation, they didn't know the section number, which is completely fine. But in that case, don't miss the first wordings, first line, which is as per the provision of whatsoever the act is. Even if you don't know the section, it is absolutely fine to write that line. And kindly, if you are not sure about the section number, don't write the section number. See, because if the section number is wrong and answer is correct, we don't get any marks for it. So please make sure that you are, if you are only very sure with section numbers, write the section numbers. Otherwise, you can avoid the section numbers. No worries, but at least write the as per the provision of whatsoever act it is. And make sure that you are good. And see, if I'm not law, you overall you just have 5 acts in your inter syllabus right now. Companies Act, LLP Act, FEMA Act, General Clause, Interpretation. You just have these 5. Make sure that you are sure with the year. Like, for example, Companies Act, that is 2013. Make sure that for all the 5 acts, you're sure with the year before going for your answers, before going for your exams. Because that you have to write, right? If even you go that wrong, that may be a very bad instinct for an evaluator that the first line, the act, she have forgot the year of the act. That goes in a very adverse manner. So make sure that you're sure with the year in which the act was formed. Okay. So yes, I'll just show you an law paper. Like for example, this student, if I in the C, right, she had a question of sweat equity shares, where she have first mentioned a provision where you can actually she sweat equity shares issued to employees, and then what are the maximum limit, what are the resolutions she required. Exactly, she have mentioned, and then she have mentioned in case of startup companies as well. Like we have different one for startup companies, right? She have mentioned everything, and then she have mentioned the facts of the cases. Now, in this case, like Sneha said, whatsoever the provision in the facts you write now, if you feel that point or that line is really important for the answer or for the provision, it is not wrong. You can underline the points or underline the line or underline the number as well. Like over here, she have underlined 1 year. She underlined 1 year because 1 year was very important as per that question. So make sure that wherever you feel answer is important to be underlined and it is important to be highlighted to the evaluator, kindly underline it. Like she have presented the facts of the cases after provision the facts she have mentioned, and then she have mentioned the analysis, and then the conclusion part. So this is how a paper should be presented. Like this question, they mentioned they have asked us two parts of sweat equity shares. So first she explained detailedly fully, and then in conclusion part she made it two questions: first question answer and second question answer, which is totally correct. Her answer might be long, but her presentation sense was totally correct. So we have to present our law paper like this. And one more thing is, many people, many students, they are just writing in the same paragraph the whole answer. Don't write a answer in the same paragraph. Break the answers, even if provision. Like for example, there are provisions which are very huge. Provisions of bookkeeping, those are very pointical and those are very huge provisions. If you have to write the provision in an exam, right? Don't write in a single paragraph. Break the paragraph, break the points, and write the answer. Writing in a very single paragraph the whole provision of one page or the whole answer of one page, it is not a very good way of presenting your answers, even though it might be correct, but it is very confusing for the evaluator, and we have to keep our answers straightforward to evaluator so that he give a tick and give us full marks. So kindly don't write in a single paragraph. Keep breaking the paragraphs wherever you find it, you feel it required, and do. And another thing is, uh, there are questions which tells it about penalty, which ask us about our limit and those cases. In that, no, like for example, over here, the question was specifically about startup companies. As you have mentioned, startup companies point, right? Wherever you feel it important, by 50% of paid up share capital, the period of is 3 years. Just underline those points. She have just underlined 3 years, which is also fine, but this is the major part of the answer. So you can underline these to put a very good impression to the evaluator. And then we can have the facts of the cases where she have exactly, question would might be of 10 lines, question might be of 5 lines. But as Sneha said, the important lines of the question, those we have to write. As she have mentioned, ABC Taxation Limited, a startup company having paid up share capital. See, they have mentioned very blah blah stuff of ABC Tech, but she have mentioned exactly what was required in the answer, for which evaluator has given tick as well. So make sure that, as Neha said, before writing any answer, read the question, understand what are the points which are required to be mentioned in the answer from facts of the cases, and do write that. And then the analysis part, which we have, where she have mentioned as per above provision, the sweat equity shares. Over here now, guys, it's fine if you mention the provision again, as per provision of sweat equity shares, and then you write. Try to avoid the words above and everything, because the marks are not of the whole answer. It's a part and part of the answer. So over here might be ICAI will not write as per above provision. ICAI might write as per provision of Companies Act 2013. So kindly uh, avoid using the words above, below, or those kind of thing. Be more specific in answers. Yeah, other than thing, you have to mention the provision and the case laws and the facts. And as she have mentioned, like this, and yeah, make sure you have some gaps between the answer. Like over here, the students have not maintained enough gaps between the answer. It is very clumsy, it is very messy. Make sure you guys have some gaps between the answer, and you guys, in case wherever the number comes now, make sure it is very visible. If the question is asking about provision and what are the numbers, like for example, any provision which have interest of 18%, main part of the answer was interest was 18. Make sure that 18% is really visible and it has enough gaps between the lines. I mean, between the paragraphs. Like, let's not write psych over here and write it in next line, and the second point you have written after it. You can leave one line gap and then write, so that that's a good presentation manner going on, and the evaluator also finds it easy to evaluate. Yeah, I know she mentioned that she have got these things mistake. So yeah, and wherever the calculation part is, make sure that you have a good calculation grip and do carry a calculator in your law exam as well. So anyone has any doubt in law presentation, like beside than what I have shown?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please anyone.
Sir, actually, in conclusion part, sometimes we have to mention number. For example, the amount to be capitalized. In
Hmm.
case of bonus share, do I have to write the direct amount to be capitalized, or I have to disintegrate like securities premium, free reserve, this amount,
So
profit and loss account?
no, 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 no. In that case, in law, right, you don't have to go it so detailedly. If it's just amount to be capitalized, you can directly amount to be capitalized.
Actually, I gave my exam today, and there was similar question like that, and I did it that way. Means special is free reserve, securities premium.
No, see, amount to be capitalized, was it only from equity or was it from different parts, like reserves, many parts? Like,
Uh,
what was the
I'm
exact question
asking,
you were asking?
I'm asking the amount. Can I direct mention the amount, or I have to uh,
Okay,
name
no,
the
that you have to name.
valuation?
No, that you have to name it. That you have to name it.
Name the valuation.
That you have to name because if I'm not
So,
wrong, bonus
for
again
example,
has,
securities premium.
yeah, that you have to name because see
No
everything.
direct now.
No, no, direct. You have to name it. You have to name it. The what is the CR used? What is the reserve?
Capital reserve,
That all you have to name it.
all mention and then
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I have
Guys,
to show the calculation.
that
Then I
is
have to show the
no, that is not required. Calculation is not required. If you have time, you can. Otherwise, you can avoid it. No worries.
in the last I have to this is the amount to be capitalized. Hence,
Yeah, that you can
also
avoid.
fact analysis. Can I use this in this case? Hereby we can say
Yeah, you can. That depends upon the particular question and the particular provision as well. But yes, see, don't mention in this case. Like as Neha also said, right, that you have to mention the question points. Like for example, the case of ABC Limited. ABC Limited have this. So we have to do like this. Don't mention in this case. Mention the questions.
okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else with any questions? Writing in the audit cases, you mean the audit and auditors chapters of law, or you mean the audit point? An answer in para or points is preferred. See, eventually paras are preferred, but the paras should not be too lengthy. It should be like 5, 10 lines and then go to next paragraph by writing in the next paragraph. Don't make a single paragraph of 20 lines and 15 lines. Yeah. Guys, so any other question, guys, from any student in case of law presentation? Audit cases means, do you mean the audit and auditors chapter, accounts and auditors chapters of law, or you mean the audit subject? I'm getting confused and go. The GCA and iOS, it's totally how the answers are. Like for example, the student have also mentioned that interpretation and if I'm not wrong, this moment. Yeah, so this was a question of general clauses, which student didn't know that she wrote anything in her answer, which was not even, it was relevant, but it was not as per what I say have written in that. General clauses and interpretation needs almost the same wordings because that's again a meaning that's under definition. Just like we have our definition chapter, these needs a good, perfect definition, or at least the keywords of definitions should be used. So guys, I'll just go to taxation subject next. If anyone has any doubt of law, we can take it at a later stage as well. I guess law doubts have been clear. It's group one, group two. So yeah, I will go with tax next. In tax, also the main thing which I will go into would be the PGDP part. So students, what happens is I have seen many answer sheets where okay, I'll just ask any question. I'll just like to ask any question, a question with okay, anyone who can voluntarily answer me. For example, if I have a PGDP question, a total computation question, over there, as per books, my depreciation is 1 lakh. And as per income tax, also, my depreciation is 1 lakh 5,000. So, in that case, what would be the treatment of depreciation you will show in the profit and loss calculation? Anyone who can voluntarily answer me out? Like, what is the way which you will present?
Can you please repeat the question?
You have depreciation. As per books, the depreciation was 1 lakh. And as per the Income Tax Act, the depreciation is 1,10,000 or 1,05,000. So how will you present the answer? How will you write the PGDP computation in that case? Like yeah, are you going to like books it's 1 lakh, income tax is 1,05,000. So are you guys directly going to add or minus 5,000, or what are the treatment you guys are going to do?
Like we'll make a working note type. In that,
Mhm.
we will write net profit as per books and what is the amount of depreciation in books and what is allowable under income tax and what should be the net adjustment we should place, whether it is positive or negative in a box type, like working note. And then we can put it.
Yeah, okay, great. So anyone else here other than Sneha, anyone else like a bit we can have interaction so that even you guys get a more conceptual clarity. Okay, no worries. So I'll just tell you out now. See, in case of direct tax computation part, see, Asneha, you have actually mentioned wrong. Depreciation, right? Depreciation net adjustment entry is not wrong, but as per the ICI format, ICI doesn't wants us to just show the net adjustment of depreciation. They wants us to first reduce the depreciation, increase the depreciation which we have taken in books, and then reduce the part which we have taken in income tax law, which is allowed. I'll just show it to you. Like this is the ICI presentation manner. First is the net profit. In that, first guys see like what I have observed in many students now. They are reading one adjustment. Okay, this is add, they're adding it. This is minus, down they're putting minus, again add, plus minus, plus minus, plus plus plus, in a very unorganized manner, which will make you also confused and which is not right as for ICI as well. ICI can deduct marks for it. Can. We cannot say will, but can deduct marks for it. Yes, so make sure first you complete all the additions and then you complete all the deduction part. So, like for example, like for Sneha, as a depreciation part, I said you, first we have to add the depreciation part as per the books. And then at the later stage, you have to subtract the depreciation allowed as per the tax laws, as per the income tax laws. This is something what ICI wants us to do, and this is something a right presentation as well, because 95% of the cases, depreciation is not going to match. So you should always add the depreciation as per books, and at the later stage, you have to deduct it out. And other than that, all the non-cash, the expenses not allowed, you have to add those, you guys know. But yes, there's a format of computation which I want you guys to open your direct tax books after this session and see the direct tax answers, how the institute have written the answer, and go as per it. Kindly don't write your own presentation of computation. This computation makes it easy for evaluator, which will have a catchy marks for you guys, because computation comes for 14 marks, which is like a very good part for your passing and your exemption in the ranks, everything. So make sure that you once see before sleeping the part of the how computation ICI is presenting, and you guys present it the same way. Yeah. So if anyone has any doubt in the computation part presentation, because that's the main one. Yeah, sure. I'll send this file to the team. They will forward it to you. Okay. So anyone has any doubt over here in the group one subjects which we have seen right now, which is the tax, accounts, and law. Anyone has any doubt overall, they can just show it. Janvi, GST part, no, as such, if we see in GST part, there is no, way of presentation used by ICAI, nor there is any way of particular presentation. Like, for example, if it's answer of place of supply, you can write that if a registered person is supplying any goods to supply of goods to any other unregistered person, in that case, what place of supply is, and then you can write the facts. Just like law, we write the provision and facts, right? Provision, facts, answer. In same in GST also, you can write in case of place of supply made by registered person to unregistered person. These are the things. In this case, these are made, and this is the conclusion. Can I do it at last? Because how much I went profit and loss and not a let's see. It is again based on, I would strongly suggest that do practice as much as computation problems as you can, because see, what we suggest, what I suggest, and what I used to do for me, like I'm for sure that every one of you have completed your computation solves. I don't mean by revision. I mean by one time seeing the lectures and one time seeing the notes and seeing the books. You guys might have completed. Every day, just spare 20 minutes of your time. I'm not asking for more. Yes, starting I might be 30 minutes as well. 30, 35, 40 minutes. Not more than that. Just solve one question of computation every day. See, I know there are not enough of time for us in the whole day. But yes, I feel if you're a group one student or writing group one, group two both, if you guys are getting enough, kindly please give 30 minutes every day to computation, solve one problem. Because see, if every day you solve one problem, at the end of this month you will solve 10 problems. Till 15th August, you will be solving like nearly 30 problems, 25 to 30 problems, which will not just help you to get those 14 marks, will also help you to get marks in MCQ of direct tax, that is also quite related, and marks in other capital gain or business computations as well. So just by giving every day half an hour to a computation problem, one computation problem every day, it might really help you to get straight 20, 30 addition of marks in your exam. So I would suggest everyone, if it's possible, yes, kindly give half an hour of every day and solve one computation problem.
Hello, dear students. How's the session going so far? Hi, everyone. If you are satisfied with today's session, please give it a thumbs up. Your feedback means a lot for me. Great, great. Ronak, you may continue. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so students, any other doubt in the group one part? I mean, in the three subjects which we have seen? Okay, I guess no any doubts, right? Okay. Saloni ma'am, you can take forward for any of your guidance if you're giving for.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, actually, in profit and loss statement, there are also other adjustments like capital gain, salary, or sometimes house property. Do we have to follow a pattern like for salary first, then house property, then profit and loss?
No. There's no such pattern in it. But yes, see, as if I'm not wrong, you won't get salary and business together, obviously, right? So it's good.
Capital gain sometimes.
Yeah. So it's good if you first complete the business part, and then you will go with the capital gain and then income from other sources. This is
Sir, you told that every day we need to practice one question
a
from
computation
profit
question.
and loss. On the
Yeah.
other hand, in GST, do we have to practice net GST liability because it is also 10 marks, 10 to 15 marks actually.
Yeah, but see, everyday practice of net GST liability is not required as such. If you feel you're quite weak in it, you can, but it is not just required. While your normal course of practice, you can go for it. It's not
Okay,
required for
fine.
everyday practice of it. Yes,
Okay.
be strong with concepts that will get solved easily. Because in income tax, we get very different adjustment, right, for computation. So that's why I have
Both are
suggested
actually
for,
different.
yeah. So that's why I have suggested for quite different. But see, in case of IGST part of the computation, right? I mean IGST part, the net ITC. If you're more strong with concepts, you can easily solve the IGST part. So for that, I don't think so. Everyday practice is required.
Okay. Sir, in carry forward cases, do we have to mention the year up to which we are carry forwarding?
In notes, yes, you have to mention it.
No. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So Saloni ma'am, you can take it forward. For your presentation.
How was the session? कैसे चल रहा है सेशन आप लोगों को? How are the sessions going on? कैसे चल रहा है सेशन आप लोगों का? सर
Saloni, it
आप
is
ग्रुप
going
में
well.
वाले हैं? Yes ma'am.
Is saying well. And rest of your students, if you have any questions and queries related to any subject, like related to answer writing, you don't know, I believe you already know a lot of things from the Ronak side. But still, if you have any question queries, feel free to ask with Ronak and Saloni. Then we will wrap up the batch. Like we will wrap up the session. Okay. So if you have guys something to tell student, you may guys let them know.
मेरी साइड से ऐसे कुछ नहीं है, बट इफ किसी की कोई क्वेरीज है तो मोस्ट वेलकम.
And so just from my side, one thing is a very important part for everyone's now. It's not just that we keep studying and we keep solving question. A very important thing is even revision of the concepts. So I would really suggest everyone that in a week, like see, we study a lot of things. If it's both the group we are writing, there are a lot of things we keep studying in case of theory subjects and everything. So every week, at least take 1 day time or half-day time and revise all the theory concepts which you feel you want one more revision, a short revision, I will say. I'm not saying like a full revision. Like ऊपर से concepts देख लें. Keep revising your concepts in a every week basis of all the portions. Like ऊपर से at least देखते रहना. Yeah, so I guess it's over from our side as well. If any students have any doubt, they can just message it to us. For when we wrap up the session, like if any students have they can come up, otherwise we can wrap up the session.
Okay, then let's wrap up the session. And you guys, please put your comments so that it means a lot. Please share your valuable feedback regarding this session. All of you, please just give me your comments. Ronak and Saloni, both of you, thank you so much for this session. And you all guys can wrap up. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, bye bye, good night everyone, and all the best for your exams.